Hi everyone, I'm Michael Thomas, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the benefits of strength training uh, with athletes and sports performance. Um, and one of the things that motivates me to do this talk, and this, by the way, this video may go a little bit long. It may longer than I would like for it to, but I'm very passionate about working with young athletes because I remember as a youngster really feeling like strength training improved my sports performance. And back then, most of the, people in sports or helping athletes was like, really the strength training is going to slow you down. You may get muscle bound, or you may, it may inhibit your ability to move your body or lose flexibility. And now we know that really a lot of that is unsubstantiated. And that is, if the youngsters and the athletes are still doing their sports specific training, strength training is perhaps the most potent intervention that you can do to improve sports performance. So really the key when you're working with young athletes, when I'm training young athletes and even college athletes, is the focus needs to be getting athletes stronger. Okay, we want athletes to double their strength over, a 6-month training phase. Training maybe 2 days per week, doing those basic 6 or 8 exercises that I talked in video 1. It's vital to double your strength throughout your major muscle groups, okay? And that is because if you improve an individual's muscular strength, okay, you improve their power. Now, power is the ability to move your body, an object, or something quicker, to produce force rapidly. Okay, that is the ability. That's power. Okay, and power is directly related to muscular strength, right? So if you have an individual who can do a chest press or a bench press with 50 pounds, and that's their 1RM, or 100 pounds, and that's their 1 repetition max, right? They can just do a 100-pound press, okay? So their ability to push 100 pounds one time is limited to just once. And you double their strength, right? How quickly can they move the 100 pounds? So if we've doubled their strength and now they can do 200 pounds for 1 rep, how many times can they do the 100 pounds? So that by really we could kind of say that now the 100 pounds is about 50% of what that muscle group or that muscle structure of pressing that is. You're at about 50% now of what was once your 1RM. So how rapidly could they push that 50 pounds away from them? Well, the answer, right, is quite obvious. Rapidly. They could move that now light object that is now light to them. They could move that 50 pounds rapidly, where in the beginning they're struggling, right, to move that. Okay, so that's just sort of an example of how improving muscular strength results in an improvement in power. All right, and in sports, we don't really think about that, right? Because if we're a baseball pitcher, we're holding a very small ball. It doesn't weigh very much, right? But if we double someone's strength throughout all their major muscle groups, now that ball is at an even lower percent of what they're capable of producing force-wise, and they can move and throw the ball much harder. Okay, so and the same could be said about jumping, right? Moving off the floor. If you increase their strength, the strength of a human being, they're going to be able to jump higher, run faster. Now, are we going to take someone who's not an elite athlete and double their strength and make them into maybe an elite athlete? Probably not, right? But if someone's a very good athlete, we can improve their performance dramatically by improving their muscular strength throughout all their major muscle groups, okay? But that's not to say that the focus should only be on strength training. Quite the opposite. That means that their focus should be in a limited degree on strength training, right? Strength training maybe a couple days per week. Our strength training sessions are under 30 minutes twice a week. And then they need to be spending the bulk of their time doing sports-specific training, right? If they're a baseball player and they're hitting, they need to be doing tee work, right? live pitching, soft toss, maybe some hitting drills, working with a hitting instructor. Pitchers need to be working with pitching, working on their pitching, maybe working on mechanics, seeing video, all of those sports specific things that they need a lot of reps. You need a lot of training volume in those sports specific. If you're a basketball player shooting, hundreds of shots per day. But when it comes to the strength training needs to be laser focused on those. I talked about those 6 or 8 exercises in video 1. If you have a question on those, look at those. But getting stronger, getting in and out of the gym, and then getting on with the sports-specific stuff that they need to be doing, right? All right? Just because we double someone's strength doesn't mean they're going to now be able to hit a baseball, right? Or throw a baseball. I mean, if they're talented in a sport, we can just enhance their performance. Physiologically, we can make them better, okay? So we can make them do all of those sports-specific things with much greater ease. In the literature, we see that as movement efficiency or just moving more effectively, right? So anyway, I just wanted to do this talk again. The focus of a strength training program, if you look at the 2 words there, strength, right? Resistance training, strength training should be specifically designed to strengthen all the major muscle groups of the body, okay? And then, of course, if they have little things they need to work on, rotator cuff things, sure, you can add those little things. But the main focus of strength training is strengthening all the major muscle groups in their body. And then, of course, doing their sports-specific stuff, okay? Too many times I see strength training being watered down, doing a bunch of exercises that perhaps aren't going to it's going to water down their adaptation or their ability to gain strength throughout all their major muscle groups. Okay, so being specific with your training hard, right? Training progressively. If you're training alone, keeping a training log, or knowing what you've done day to day, week to week, and being progressive, making your number one goal to improve your muscular strength. Okay, so improve your muscular strength over the course of a year. If you could double your strength, where would you be? I mean, as an athlete, all right. We sometimes have youngsters that go from doing 1 pull-up to doing 15 or 20 pull-ups in short order, in a matter of months. We have now changed them physiologically because those muscles now are capable of producing so much more force. Okay, again, so doing your strength training, being laser focused on strengthening the major muscle groups, all the major muscle groups of the body, and then working diligently and very intensely and with significant volume on the sports specific motor skills and motor learning that needs to go on to be a great player at your chosen sport. Okay, well, that's it for this my talk, and I hope that helped.